Timberwolves and the Lakers. First impressions, Windy.
This is a rematch, not of the Lakers and Timberwolves, but of Luka going back to Minnesota, where he dropped the dagger on them in the Western Conference Finals last year when he was with the Mavericks. He loved playing on the road up in Minneapolis. I don't think he'll be stressed at all about going there. The thing here is obviously the Timberwolves like to play big. They can sometimes play with two centers. The Lakers like to play with no centers. Who will get to impose their will? I think you will see the Lakers try to play Rudy Gobert off the court as much as possible in this series.
You like this matchup for the Lakers, don't you?
I do, man, and I think it comes down to Rudy Gobert, as Wendy just said, man. Listen, guys are going smaller, right? How is Rudy going to take not being able to play in those crucial moments, adding LeBron James at the 5 sometime, right? Spreading the floor out. Rudy Gobert is their defensive anchor, and he knows one way. He knows one way, and every time someone drives, he's coming to the basket. Will open up corner threes, open up spacing, and then look, ISO time against Luka Doncic. I don't think he want to see that.
It's a tough matchup. Yeah. I mean, candidly, no one fares particularly. Look at that. I mean, look at it. Hey, sent them home too, man. Can you translate the words that he's saying there for me? No, I forget I asked you that.
Not right now.
Forget we said that. Do you like the matchup for the Lakers?
I do like the matchup for the Lakers, but still what I love about this matchup is the superstar power. Last year, the postseason was the rise of Anthony Edwards when he took down Kevin Durant. We saw that moment of Luka chirping.
Yeah.
You remember those images of Edwards chirping at KD?
Yes.
And then what did he do? He followed that up by chirping at Jokic being able to take down the Denver Nuggets. Will he do that again? Again, it's a tall task going up against Luka and LeBron, but I'm excited to see what this moment, it brings out the best in him. And speaking of the best in it, we've seen it this season, averaging a career high in points, 27 points per game. I don't know if people realize, he led the NBA in made threes, 320 threes he made, more than Steph Curry. Like, this was a concerted effort for him to knock down shots, knowing that he's gonna have more on his shoulders as an offensive threat. I love this matchup because it's gonna bring out the best in him.
Windman, it is fascinating. As you were talking, it got me to thinking. You got Ant versus Luka. Neither of them, I mean, their circumstances are so thoroughly different from what they were a year ago.
True.
Ant was part of a big two in Minnesota. They traded the other one away. Luka was part of a, essentially, well, I guess he was a big two with Kyrie in Dallas. They traded him away. So these two stars go head to head, and things couldn't be more different than they were a year ago.
Yeah, and Minnesota has actually been playing really well. They won 9 of 11 games down the stretch to get out of the play-in. There was a little bit of drama this weekend. Ant Edwards got a technical foul Friday night, would have been suspended yesterday. The NBA rescinded it. He was needed in that game. He scored 43 points to get them into this spot. The Timberwolves last year were a great defensive team, #1 in the league, and a sort of middle-of-the-pack offensive team. Down the stretch of this season, they've been a better offensive team than defensive team. So this is while it is comparable to what we saw last year, and is shooting way more threes, their offensive ceiling is higher after trading for Julius Randle, and their defensive ceiling hasn't been as good. So, and by the way, these teams split the season series, but none of the games were really played with the Lakers playing the way they are now. So I'm going to throw that out. So I expect a competitive series. I agree. I think the Lakers have the advantage, especially because they get home court advantage. They have been awesome all year at home. They worked so hard to get that 3 seed, and they've gotten a good spot going into the West playoffs.
We've managed to talk about this series for 3 minutes and 31 seconds, and there's 2 words I haven't said yet, and they are LeBron James. His name has not yet come up. What's LeBron's role in this? We talk all we want about Luka and Ant, obviously. How about LeBron in this series?
It's to be the OG. It's to be the vet, right? Have the guy with the highest IQ in the NBA to put guys in the right spots, right? I think it's going to be critical to see how they keep Ant in the box and the different matchups they throw at him, right? How do they cover Luka Doncic's defensive flaws? But LeBron James, the smartest guy on the court, I think he allows Luka to be Luka, do his thing, and get easy backs to get out in transition and be LeBron.
But if LeBron is the smartest guy, which we all agree, where do we put Redick in for the masterful job he has done so far this year? Because he said, I still have some cards up my sleeve.
Yeah.
We know that he was not showing everyone what this team could do, even at the small ball lineup. What I expect to see more of is LeBron James and Luka Doncic in that pick and roll. LeBron James in that short role as a decision maker, because that is a nightmare for defenders. Okay, now you've given LeBron James a short court. He can pop it out to shooters, or he can attack with a with advantage himself. Like, I do think that the Lakers actually have more up their sleeve.
All right, they will begin next weekend. We'll have plenty of time to look ahead to a lot of these matchups, which are just spectacular. And again, the play-in begins tomorrow night, Steph.
Of their star players are going to be on the move. So I don't know. I think.
So are the Lakers playing with house money?
Go ahead.
I mean, I wouldn't feel good about it.
With Luka?
Yeah, I wouldn't feel good about
Really?
it. The Lakers have 2 years to sell Luka Doncic on why he should be there long term. This postseason and next year. I hope they get it done.
Are you saying, though, that they're playing with house money?
A little bit. I think the perception, I know you don't feel that way, but the perception would be disappointing based on the fact that we have two great historic postseason performers, and the way that they've played, we expected more of them. But also think about when the trade was first made, the immediacy of it. What was the narrative? This season is kind of a buffer zone. This is the half a season with Luka, and we don't really expect them to be there until next year. So even though a little bit of the texture around that conversation changed as the season went on, I think that ultimately that's where we land.
All right, what happens if the Knicks lose in the first round to the Pistons? 3-6 matchup.
Tibbs could be gone. Now that Michael Malone's out there, that's certainly a conversation.
CC?
I think there'll be huge changes with the Knicks. I think they're going to trade away some pieces. I think this becomes a fascinating offseason in which they'll be pursuing somebody from the Phoenix Suns.
I think it's Durant more than Booker as of now, but just remember something.
Relationships, Leon Rose.
Well, also remember one thing. Do you know the Houston Rockets theoretically could win the title and have the #1 pick in the draft this year? It is not impossible.
That's crazy.
Because they have the Suns picks.
Thank you, Phoenix.
Theoretically, the Houston Rockets could win the NBA championship and have the #1 pick in the draft.
Wow.
I'm not suggesting they're doing either. I'm just saying they are the only team I believe that it would be. Well, I guess Miami could have that actually also. Anyway, I don't think either of those are happening. The next one. What happens if the Bucks lose in the first round? What happens if the Milwaukee Bucks lose in the first round of the playoffs to the Indiana Pacers, who obviously have been a nemesis for them over the last year plus?
Are we on Giannis watch? I think we're already on Giannis watch.
I was going to say, aren't we already kind of there?
Yeah, we're already kind of there. We'll see what happens. But yeah, but if they have another one and done in the postseason, what would that make it? 3 straight years where they have first round exits?
And they would not have had a full team any of those years, I don't believe, in terms of injuries, right?
Does it actually matter? If you can't keep a full team around me, then that's a you problem. And why should I have confidence that if you haven't been able to do it in recent memory, that you'll be able to do it in the not so distant future?
Well, he's been one of the people injured too, to be fair.
Yeah, I get that.
Smalls, Bucks lose first round?
Well, as far as Giannis watch is concerned, didn't he express that he wants to win, and that as much as he loves Milwaukee and has been committed there, that if he can't get it done again there, that he would look elsewhere? Hasn't he put that out into the ether? So wouldn't we ratchet that up?
We probably would. It's interesting. Those 3 teams, big teams, obviously. And now the Nuggets, if I want to add them to the list, it's like, okay, well, they already fired their coach. It's weird.
Xin chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là quả dứa. Và ngày hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là quả thơm. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nha. màu hồng nha, tiếp tục sẽ là màu xanh.